Welcome everyone to once again another session of Blades in the Dark with the Nene Valley Blades, as we sort of call the folks here. We're a group of role players in the backside of Northamptonshire who well, actually, some of them are in Cambridgeshire, but we get together every week on Wednesday night and we play ourselves a little Blades in the Dark. We also play D&D on a different channel, and I'll let John tell you about his channel where we play D&D. And my character, of course, is the leader, and they all greatly worship my character. But anyway, we'll get to that later. Anyway, let me bring the characters in, and I can't wait to have you meet them. They are great role players and fun people. Here we go. Everything's just running a teeny bit slower than I'd like. Ah, yes, here they are. Let's start at so if you're looking at Twitch, you'll see that our wonderful background screen where we've got everybody. And at the bottom of the screen is apropos. We have Felix, who is playing Wrecker. And he has a wonderful AI generated around the table in the boat look that is where we always pretty much start our games. Can you tell us a teeny bit about Wrecker? What drives him? And you're muted.
Wrecker is a leech. He wrecks things. He's good at tinkering. He's a Victorian scallywag who's also a good prowler, likes to create things and blow things up.
Yes, he does. He definitely blew up a bunch of stuff last time around. And Pete and Christine, as we come across there, and talk about you guys as characters.
Yeah, so Twitch is, as he describes himself, a street rat. Very much, he keeps the shadows and he takes his chances, makes his coin where he can.
Very good, Mara.
Yeah, and Mara Moon is a whisper. She loves consorting with ghosts and spirits. She basically enjoys their company and finding out their stories and listening to what they've done in their lives. And yeah, she loves the arcane.
I think Mara may have brought the greatest complication that the team has faced yet to your team, which is interesting. I would have bet my money on Rob or Felix doing that, but Christine, your character brought on a specific problem set for the team. Do you want to talk about that just a second?
Well, basically, she's had a run-in with a demon that is a little disgruntled with her. I don't quite know why. I mean, come on. I was just trying to stop him killing human to get to a spirit. So he's just a little bit offended, and maybe I might have antagonized him a little bit. Yeah, he's on our tail, shall we say.
One of the wonderful things that this game does is it has a mechanic called a devil's bargain. And for a known consequence, you can take an extra die for your roll, hoping for success. Early on, during a downtime, Mara took that extra die to help protect a young lady who was being possessed by a ghost who she was trying to talk with, and this demon was attacking, and she took that bargain that she would antagonize and make an enemy of this demon. And that one decision for an extra dice has played wonderfully into our entire universe here that we've built together. Anyway, Rob, you've got the most difficultly named and most interesting set of circumstances around yourself. Talk about that. Talk about set it and set it. Pete,
yeah.
You gads.
He's gone. That's it.
Yeah, he definitely pressed his penis right against the glass. That was scary. Go ahead.
Dear.
He's doing it again.
Jeez, straight back. Okay,
At least he was
wasn't
wearing
ready for
his
that one, I tell
trousers
you.
this time.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
Jeez.
at least I'm wearing pants.
Yeah.
Okay.
I noticed you translated for us Americans. Well done.
I did. Yeah. I know where the money is.
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, so said it is my pet. That's the name of my pet, and that's also the alias that I go by, which doesn't really get that confusing if you think about it. You shout for said it, and both of us turn up. And or I might actually send the cat, and then she'll listen and then tell me what you're all bitching about. So it's absolutely fine, So yeah, so I'm a hound. I'm there for basically trailing, searching, and cover fire, basically from ranged. But nifty up front as well. Petite compared to the brute. He's more wander in, kill everything, demolition of everything that stands in our way.
Oh, come on.
Whereas I'm a little bit more finesse, really.
Brute's,
So that's me.
It's a great transition, but Brute's like a onion. He's got lots of layers.
What? He's an ogre. He's an ogre with mushroom ears and slightly green.
And not only is he like an onion that lots of layers, he's also makes people cry if they cut into him. So
is it not?
Can you instead
of spending? Correct? Is that you're a fruit vendor? Sorry, a vegetable vendor as well, because you give people cauliflower.
Oh, well, cauliflower ears, yes. As you describe yours, Brute, instead of going deeply into your very interesting character, can you talk a little bit about the relationship with your sister and some of the complications that's led to?
Yes, indeed. So my sister is a few years younger than me, about 5 years younger. We were orphaned at a fairly young age, so we lived in a tenement, and neither of us ever knew our fathers, different fathers. Our mother died of the pox she was fairly young and we were very young, so we grew up on the streets. Although actually we lived in and around this tenement building for many years as we were growing, but neither of us could make very many decisions in life. So as I was a big lad, I ended up doing enforcement for various gangs, and she went off into the trade to earn an honest wage. The problem is that just recently she has been caught by a lad who should have known better, and having established some contact with his family, I think by now he probably does know better. And that's a useful in for us as a group. And he got her hooked on some drugs, and that's descended into a situation where she's become very hooked, and she's gone into harder and harder drugs. She's been on a downward slide. So what we're doing now is we're drying her out. So she's now on our boat, and she's going to dry out. And I think it's fair to say none of the crew's going to let her off, even if she asks really nicely.
Very good. The boat's interesting. This is their lair. This is their workshop. This is their research facility. It's also wonderfully portable, as we are in a city that has plenty of canals and rivers running through it, and they tend to move their lair from time to time just to keep ahead of people knowing exactly where they are. So currently on the boat, there are some other residents. We have recently had Valeris, who was rescued from Lord Delvar. Valeris had been hired by Lord Delvar, and failed in what she was supposed to do. And as a friend of the group, they rescued her, and she hid out until things cooled down. And she's out now. We have Polonia. How do you say it, John?
It's Polonia.
Polonia. I need to add that I. Polonia. So Polonia is locked in a cabin in is it a coma, Felix, or she's knocked out? You're with your medicine?
We've sedated her for 2 or 3 days. So depending on where we are at the moment, she might be coming around.
Got it. So she's sedated. And then we also have Vivienne, who is a mainstay in this particular boat, and is an artifact from the very first adventure, in which she was rescued from a brothel where she was being held. She is a Taikarosi, which means that she's got some very interesting physical characteristics. And for her, it is a peacock-like tail that she actually physically has, and is able to spread and make an amazing display. And if she were dancing in one of those clubs, it's big money for the owner. She was highly desired by Lord Delvar, who hired our team or some of the crew to try and go take her, get her special key so that he could have it for himself and lord it over other people. Instead, they rescued her, and she is now hiding on this boat because she is highly visible when she moves about. It's very difficult to carefully hide that peacock tail that she has to hold all the way up, sort of bind up her back if she's moving around. So she is sort of turned into their cook. She's turned into a lover, or said it, and is a friend to the team who is sort of watching out for Polona, though she is getting ridiculously bored after having spent Polonia, spending weeks and weeks and weeks trapped upon this particular boat.
The reason why you don't get it, of course, is because you don't spend enough time with people who play lacrosse and
That's what it is.
Lunch at the country club.
Polonia, Mercedes. That's a name. Yes. As we do, as I bring us across to Roll20, I'll talk a little bit about this particular world that we're living in. So the city of Duskfall sits at the northern extremes of the Empire. It is where the fleet sails forth to do battle with the Leviathans, to take their blood, to power everything that they have in this steampunk world. This once was a beautiful fantasy world, as you would expect in D&D, if things were absolutely perfect and then something went wrong. The sun shattered, leaving this world in mostly darkness, except for the times that those shattered pieces of the sun come up and then set. The moons skip sort of across the sky, leaving weird artifacts, the dimmer sisters, the smaller versions of the moon that seem to refract as it moves across the sky. It's dark. The gates of death are open. Spirits run free. There's so many problems with just staying alive. The city is surrounded by lightning towers, which keep out as best as possible most of the effects of the opening of the lands of the dead. The ghost field is active, and many things are powered by ghosts. But our characters are in this smoldering, I don't know what you want to call it, a not a charnel house. It is a seething giant city that is a steampunk Victorian, partially nightmare because of the number of ghosts and things that slip around it. The rich are rich, the poor are poor, and our group has decided to make money and change their fate. They've actually done pretty darn well. As you look, we deal with this a little bit cinematically. As you look across this city that you see on your screen, you see the Duskval River running out to the north of, and you see all the different branches and canals, and this is the world that our folks live in. Currently, they are docked right here. You can see the little arrow coming up. We use Roll20 for our background and greatly appreciate it. It's raining. The rain is steady. It's straight down. There's not a lot of wind. But it's been colder and colder over the last several days, to where in the mornings the cobblestones are more slick than they should be, even though there is no ice yet formed. The Leviathan fleet has sailed, as they always do at this time of year. The docks look particularly bare, as there are none of the grand ships that sail forth to battle the Leviathans to get their ichor to make electroplasm to run everything. Everyone is sort of hunkering down at this end of year period. On the boat, as is normal, there's something bubbling in the pot on the stove. Our folks have gotten fairly wealthy over the last bit with their great scores. They have real coffee, the type of stuff that is grown in farms with electroplasmic lights that are able to keep it growing in this darkness. They are enjoying the spoils a little bit of their successes. They actually have decent meat. They're not just eating mushroom products and eels. They're eating, I don't know. What do you think you guys are having for your dinner tonight? We just
Dog.
lost some dog. Thank you so much, Rob.
In a rich Cantonese sauce.
Duck. Yes, duck.
Oh,
Duck.
that's what I meant. Duck.
I think duck would be great.
Sorry.
Who did we just
I knew it
lose on
began with a
Roll20?
D.
Someone just dropped off on Roll20, but I didn't see who. Okay, so yes, duck. I love it. And that seems something that some wealthier folks might have a pond somewhere with the electroplasmic plants infused plants next to it, able to keep these things going. The eggs sell for astronomical prices, but the ducks themselves, not too bad. You were able to get a deal off of that butcher that Mara went into at one point over in Brightstone, where the guy was actually possessed for a short time. He does recognize her when she came in and gave her a decent deal, shuddering as he did so. And so you're eating this duck in a nice rich sauce. There is rice that is harvested in the areas south of Iron Hook Prison, and not a bad meal. You're sitting around the table, sort of deciding what is your next thing to do. There are lots of problems that you're facing, lots of issues that are going on. I'd love for you guys to talk about that for a little bit during our free play time.
Just wondering for the cooking, did we have to get it out of our inventory and then hold up to 5 items and then toss them into a cooking pot?
Yeah, you had a heavy load when you were doing that,
and then and then we got a nice meal.
It is.
Anybody
anyone that's
who's
watching,
not
yes, go ahead.
following the zeitgeist and knows about the latest Zelda game.
Now we know. So Mara speaks up to talk about what she thinks is going on with the demon.
Yeah, I think that now we know that they're going to get this book. I think we need to take that cult down.
Easier said than done, though. There's quite a lot of them.
Yeah, I really want to take that cult down.
I definitely do not like what they do. So taking them out would definitely make the world a better place.
Well, Rekka has some skill in
Oh, yes, he
demolition.
does.
You're muted, by the way.
Quite happy to blow things up anytime. Did you hear an explosion the other night? It was about 2 nights ago. That was us having some fun.
That is very good. Speaking of which, on your second adventure, your second training, you went out with Mara. And you wound up on the rooftop of a Lady Kellis's house. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the Blue Devils gang who you guys hang with for some of your training, this teenage gang, this girl with all the piercings, the sort of spiked up, bleached white hair, she didn't make it out of Lady Kellis's. She got nabbed. I remember that as a possible serious problem, too.
Have you talked to the Blue Devils, Rekka? Do you think, how do they feel? Do they think she'll talk, or do they think she'll stay mum?
I think they give her 2 or 3 days. So we've got to make a decision. We either bust her out or get on with them, our bigger problems. But she could cause us a lot of issues. So I don't know if it's something we could do in a mini heist or something.
Going for cash is always a good thing, but my heart's telling me to
not cash,
to deal with the family matters. We've done enough with each other now that we're no longer acquaintances. We live in the same bloody place, for God's sake. We should be thinking of ourselves as like an extended family, and I think one of our family is in need, and we also need to address the problem that Paul has also brought to our door. Maybe not the problem, maybe the lucrative side of what Paul managed to bring to our door, because they will want to deal with that. So I think we need to address that before anything else. I don't know of time factors. We've got the nameless event. We've got the knobheads that are trying to summon demons and ghosts and shit. We've got the blackjacks. We've got the lamplights. We've got the blue coats. We've got butlins. We've got they're the red coats. And they are coming. There's so much that we're juggling, and I think, I don't know, I'm quite happy to take on Paul by myself and to see how far we can actually get. If you guys think that other things are more prominent and more important.
Yeah.
Wonderful things to add. Go ahead.
Can we subcontract jobs as well?
I don't know.
We've got money now. We could always pay for expertise. And
absolutely.
What did we do with the spark?
You've got it.
We've got it.
We've got it. Yeah, last
spark, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's like 20 coins worth. And I think we were talking about trying to sell it so that we can actually do shit with it.
Why did we lose? We lost the girl because we were trying to poison. We were trying to give them the poop juice, weren't we?
Yeah, it was in the middle of that whole big deal as they ran downstairs to drop that off in the food for the ball, and at the same time, Mara had grabbed this ghost who seems to be following the crew and forced him to bang on the door to provide a distraction. But as everyone came out and we had the extraction roll and everybody's leaving, it wasn't a full 6. So the complication that was thrown in there was that one of them got nabbed.
Yeah.
Can I also ask, though, what is our feelings, in terms of Spark? Is that something that we particularly want to have out on the streets?
Interesting
Doesn't
question.
make my life easier having that stuff around, so...
Well,
we were going to cut it,
before-
weren't we?
Ah.
we were going to do it. You were going to put it with something, weren't you, to make it super quality? I mean,
Second, pause
Super
it.
poopy
Actually, I can't
quality.
pause it.
To be
To make it
precise.
super poo-poo.
So
We're going to cut it with the poop juice.
yeah.
yes, we were, weren't we?
Hand it over to the lampblacks. And what that was going to do was that was going to make Lady Kellis's circumstances somewhat difficult because the lampblacks would then sell
Can tell Flance.
poopy spark.
Yeah.
And that was really was the appropriate noise for it as well, yeah.
Yes, it was fantastic. The sound effects on this stream tonight are fantastic.
Leave it here. Sorry.
Yeah, you should.
I mean,
because of the noise.
For me,
you made,
with all
not
my
the,
years of
not
law
the talking.
enforcement, Spark isn't a thing that, and I wouldn't have batted an eyelid selling it, distributing it, or anything. But since I've been with this crew and seeing what it's done with Paul, I want it off the streets.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, it just destroys people. It's
I
not
like
good.
the fact that this might make people think twice before they take Spark if they think there's corrupted Spark out there. So I like that idea. And
Can we
if it
find out what this Spark
Lady
is?
Kellis, that's all for the good.
Can we cultivate this spark? Can we home grow the spark? I mean, what is spark? Do we know where it comes from? Do we know what provides it? What sources it?
Isn't it a lichen that grows close to the blood of the what's it called? The lampreys, whatever they're called.
Leviathan
blood.
Leviathans.
Leviathan blood. It grows around the lights of the Leviathan bulbs.
I can see that. I can see something like that. Makes sense to me that it has something to do with this electroplasm and the other problems. Probably carefully crystalline grown using either uncut Leviathan blood before it's turned into electroplasm or somewhere in the process.
Oh.
So I'm just wondering whether we could, if we could find out as a side deal, not to detract us from our objectives, see if we can manufacture small quantities and then we just keep supplying the poop spark poop into the network, so we can kind of sabotage the distribution and the sale of it. You know, I mean, if you think about it, people are taking it because they're having a shit day. Can you imagine how much of a shit day they would have if they took our poop spark?
Okay, guys, I'm going to have to put you on a quick break. I'll be right there.
Oh. Okay.
Well, it doesn't mean we can't stop planning amongst ourselves.
Yeah, no, indeed.
So if
I
we
mean,
get
I bet you he's
Rekka
not muted to stream.
I mean, I don't. I'm sorry.
if we get Rekka to pimp the poop juice and
Pimp the poop.
and swap out. I mean, are we intending to just sell it to the lamplighters? trouble is, if we sell it to the lamplighters, then they're gonna they're gonna then track us down because we've sold it. So I'd rather they find it sort of like magic, if you like, almost. It turns up at their doorstep with a note, something, I don't know, but.
Well, like an errant child at PE.
Sorry?
Nothing.
I can't. My little Johnny can't do PE today because he's got a verruca on his foot.
Yeah, I mean that's the trick, is how do we get this Dr. Spark to the lampblacks without them being suspicious, and without them then analysing it, or
We get Polonia to deliver it.
Yeah, basically we have to reseal that.
yeah, but Polonia's unconscious.
We have
No,
to.
Somebody
we
else
said we'd
stand
use a.
in for Polonia.
We said we would use a doppelganger, didn't we? We'd use somebody disguised.
Okay.
And
We've also got to get a body as well, haven't we? Because Polonia's got to die.
Right, I'm bringing you guys back on.
Originally, the idea was Polonia had to die, but Polonia doesn't need to die now. Polonia can just deliver the stuff and then disappear.
I think. Bring you back.
But we need to do it quick.
Yeah, we do need to do it quick. I think that's priority one.
So we've got a number of small side quests, really, haven't we, that we need to do?
So, how long will it take, Rekka? How long will it take you to cut the spark with the poop juice and then repackage everything and then get it back into the backpack and put the spirit lock back on?
Probably about 4 hours.
Okay, so that's not that. Okay, and then we've got 4 hours to wake Pol up, and
We're not sending Pol.
4 hours to find somebody who looks just like Pol.
Yeah.
Short, shoulder length hair. No.
What we could do is we could find someone that never hangs around the lampblacks and pay him to tell the lampblacks that Pol is injured or something, or even get Pol to write and is maybe even dead, or he found it on the body of Pol and it had, and she said to get it to them, but put it back in the thing and lock it up so it doesn't look like it's being tampered with.
Yep.
Excellent. So we are back
She sends it on before she dies. Yeah,
with everybody talking about the various different problems.
Okay, either way, we're cutting it with poop juice.
Yes.
Yes.
Do I need to roll the dice?
You do.
For what?
For cutting the spark with poop juice.
Rewrapping it, resealing it, and then basically putting it back together again with the ghost lock back on, making it look untampered.
Strangely enough, as you introduce the poop juice to the ceramic bowls that have the little bits in there and the spark that's in the bladders, it seems to soak up quite well.
Sure.
So I'm not going to cause a roll for that or anything like that.
So we're now putting it back into the satchel and we're locking it up with the spirit lock.
Okay.
Do we want to tamper with the spirit lock?
No.
So that it sets off when they try and open it? No? Okay.
No, we want them to buy that it's not been tampered with, so.
Yeah, so we don't do that. Or do we want to keep that spirit lock and... No, okay. So now we need to find someone to deliver it.
Okay.
We need to find someone who's not going to be tracked down again by the lampblacks.
So how do you guys go about this?
I'm just wondering whether Vivienne would maybe go and deliver it and then come back.
I think she'd be a little bit easy to identify.
Yeah. We want someone completely
But she's associated with who?
I guess nobody right now.
There you go. And that's key. She might just turn up and go, hey, such and such lady fell down dead, injured, whatever, said to deliver this here. She also said don't touch the lock. Would Pole know that it's a spirit lock? I mean, they're easily identifiable, aren't they? I would imagine. Are they?
Not really. I think
Right,
that you can hide it as regular lock.
Right. So in which case, then she wouldn't necessarily need to say that because she may not actually know. And then anybody inquires, they might know that somebody of her description came from a brothel. They may not associate where Pole resides. So they could be in the same establishment, maybe, who knows, moving in the same circles per se.
Just a thought.
So there's also that.
If you wanted to watch what happens,
with another problem that we've got, guys, which is that if Vivienne decides to F off, then we're back to somebody else cooking. But if she comes back, then fair play.
So a little thought comes to your head that she doesn't have to be completely alone, in that you do have a resource of 4 legs that could be reporting back.
Yeah. What, Rekka's going to go on all fours and pretend to be a cat?
Yeah.
Have we got that? Have we got that 101 Dalmatian latex dog suit?
I think that's the cleaners from the last time you used it.
Right, okay. It's been in there for ages.
Yeah.
Well, that's the amount of cleaning it's needed.
Man, that must have been a sticky night. I can't remember that one. Was I drunk? Yeah, right then. Yes, no, that's a very good idea. We could actually send it with Vivienne.
Vivienne will become a target if we do this.
I think Vivienne's already a target, to be honest. That's why we keep her hidden.
Yeah, she's a target from Lord Delvar, not necessarily from the Lampblacks. So, I mean, word will get out that somebody's seen her. That will infuriate Delvar, which is going to give me an immense amount of pleasure. Because if Delvar's got that knobhead, Castor, I can't remember whether he's with Skurlock or Delvar. Skurlock, right, okay. So maybe if Delvar reaches out because he's desperate for Vivienne, that might flush Castor out. That'll be another string to our bow if we can deal with him as well. That also means that we might be able to get closer to the Nameless event. Because I bet you he'll be there in a form of security. So I won't be able to go anywhere near there. And he's already clocked most of you guys because he's taken pot shots at you. So yeah. So we need to flush him out. This could be a way of doing it, especially as the brute innocently walked in on a meeting between Skurlock and Delvar, so we know they're
hardly innocently.
I did try and retract that, but I thought I've got no words to say. He just barged in and went, "Look at this fake document. You're being set up."
It worked though, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
And the weird thing is that even a weeks down the line, they're still not sure. They're still not sure.
So yeah, I think maybe if everybody else is in agreement, send a cat with the Tiger OC and deliver the backpack. They then scoot back, and
Okay.
said it will be able to deal with any issues. I mean, she's not a small cat, is she?
No. No, she's
Yeah,
not. She's
absolutely.
we've said before is at least Labrador size, so she's
Yeah.
it's a big creature. One that's unusual in town, but this is a town that has lots of unusual things that happen. So that would not be completely out of character. Do you know anyone with whom you could interlocute for giving this to the Lampblacks?
Sorry, say that again. What?
So do you know anybody that you can work with in the Lampblacks, or do you know any Lampblacks, or?
I've got contacts.
Oh, you do.
Lamp black.
Do.
Wasn't there somebody hated, and they said that would be quite a useful person to approach? Or am I misremembering?
That could have been the corpse thief.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. Yes. Sorry.
Oh no, not a lamp black. Sorry, blue. I'm thinking blue coats. No,
Yeah.
you're right. I don't have a lamp black.
So you guys don't know a lot of Lampblacks. I'm going to take a
We do. They
quick.
just don't like us.
I take a quick look back at the notes, and I'm wanting to see if there was a particular fight that happened in the Keyhole brothel, right? And it happened in the restroom. If we remember all the way back to the very, very first score.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think we.
Yeah, some of you were not there.
Okay, yeah,
So
because I didn't think they were the Lampblacks, were they?
absolutely, they were the Lampblacks.
Oh, okay. So
And they had been hired by Lord Delvar as the other crew to do the same thing you were doing, so he could hedge his bets. That
maybe
particular.
sending Tiger OC then is not a good idea.
Anyway, your thoughts. You do know the tall, skinny Lampblack that you knocked over in the restroom. Actually, didn't Felix douse the guy with something? I can't remember exactly how you put that guy down so that he wouldn't get in your way. But there is a Lampblack that you do know of. You know what he looks like, and you could probably figure out after a little bit of effort and time where that guy hangs out.
Okay. That's something that we can do.
Yep.
I've
Just
got
a
another
thought.
question about Spark.
Yes.
If it's in the bag, does it have like a certain smell? Is there anything that can distinguish a bag that's got Spark in it and a bag that hasn't got Spark in it?
That's a good question. We'll just say yes. There is a tangible smell of salt, like a oversalted food, or there's and within the right light, there's a slight glow to the bag. Not much, but just a teeny bit. So that's some things that you can think about.
Okay, so I mean, in theory, then I could take it with Said It instead of Vivienne, because I wouldn't like it if she got snatched and then got handed over to Delvar anyway. So I could maybe do that with Said It. And then we can always use the, it smells like a product that you guys would use. Found it. I know exactly what that is, and I'm not opening it because I'm not having that shit all over me. You guys, I know for a fact, can distribute it. So
Well, no, say
wanna
you
buy
found it on a girl who was dying, and she told
Oh
you,
yeah.
and she begged you to deliver it for her.
Wouldn't it make more sense to get a third party to do this so that we're not even in the chain?
Okay.
It doesn't come back to us.
I like
And-
that. You
and-
can
and that
use.
Yeah, but
third
everything
part-
will come back to us. If you put enough pressure on the third party, then they'll tell them exactly who got them to do it.
Exactly, but they're going to let this third party go away, and hopefully this third party lives somewhere completely different. They're never going to come across them again. Whereas we're putting ourselves at risk of heat if we just walk in there and say, here, look what we found, and then they suddenly get ill from it.
Okay.
It just makes sense. I mean, I don't know.
So you guys can definitely leverage contacts that you have to get second parties. You can do all sorts of things like that.
Or one of us goes in disguise. That's the other option. I mean,
Absolutely.
said it can go in disguise. Maybe, I don't know.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I can. I've got a kit of many disguises.
And then the other thing we could also do is get the corpse thief to find a completely mutilated body about the same age, and chuck her under a boat somewhere and say that's where you found it. I don't know.
I think the idea of sending one of us is probably the cleanest, isn't it?
I think it is.
One of us in disguise.
In disguise, yeah.
Okay. So how do you guys choose to do this? I'm not pushing towards a score. I'm just very interested in how this is playing out.
Brute should go. Disguised as an old woman.
Yeah.
Are we going to get the body?
I'm in disguise.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think we need to do that. Just say, because when somebody dies, the guards rush to that area, don't they? There's
That's right, bell
particular
rings.
there's particular people who race to that area to basically
the spirit
Yeah.
wardens.
clear up the mess,
Yes.
shall we say?
Absolutely, but at the same time, we're trying to take the heat off Brute's sister so that she's no longer sought after.
Yes.
We've got to explain why Polonia isn't delivering the.
She's dead. This is what the
Right,
person
exactly, yeah.
says when they
Yeah.
deliver.
Yeah.
I found a dying girl who begged me to bring this to you. She
Yeah.
died.
But as soon as they
Guards
get
came,
as soon
took
as they get the
her body and her
Yeah, that's
spirit
true.
away.
Yeah.
as soon as they get
And
the
I'm
shit,
delivering what she asked me to deliver.
as soon as they get the shits, they'll suspect that that's an issue and that wasn't true and that she's still alive, and she'll be a
Yeah.
suspect. Whereas if there's a body, then it's a clean. That's a clean kind of. If there's a body, then they'll believe that part of the story, and then
Yeah,
then
but
they'll
we're not going to
and
take
then
the
they'll.
body to
We're not taking the body to
the
them.
lampblacks. We're not going to turn up with the
No.
body and.
No, you put the
Christ.
body around the corner. Say, look, she got killed in this horrific way, whatever it was. Look, there's a body there. I've just found this satchel, and she said, take it quickly to the back. I don't know.
Before she died.
Yeah, before she died. That would make sense to me because then you've got a clean. You've got Brute's sister is out of the shit. They don't suspect us, and they're more likely to then suspect the original providers of the.
The body could have slipped away into the canal, been eaten by one of these eel things.
Yeah. And then they'll think they've been done by whoever gave them the spark in the first place. Rather than it could have been the person that delivered it, or it could have been her.
Exactly. That's the whole point of making it look like it's not been tampered with.
Yeah.
So that then any doubt that there's something wrong with this is going back to Lady Kellis.
You guys do have, buttloads of money. You could pay off like the gondoliers to have found the body. You could, there's all sorts of options. The color I will add right now is that Vivienne, who is now clearing the table, is very interested in this conversation because it seems to be partially about her. And outside, the rain has changed to sleet, and it is coming down and bouncing a little bit onto on the surface of your boat, and you can see it through the windows bouncing a little bit on the cobbles as the water that's pooled there is starting to turn gelid, and the fragments of the sun have dipped below the horizon. Continue. I love it.
Those are my thoughts, but I'm quite happy to go with what everyone else wants to do. I really don't mind.
I think we're best to try and make it as simple as possible. I think by trying to get somebody to give us a dead body that we can then claim is her, that we don't really want them to see or find, but it's been mutilated and mangled. And I think we're better off just having the fact that we say that the body slipped into the canal, an eel grabbed it, whatever, but it's gone. Before she died, he threw us this bag and said, please, desperately, please take it there.
Okay.
Save my brother, whatever you want to add in that detail, but keep it as simple as possible, because I don't want to pull too many people into this story, because the more people we pull in to make sure it's a tight story, the more it has problems of leaking holes.
Keep it simple, I think, is the way.
It's simple until we roll the 1. But, yeah,
Well, there's always going to be a roll.
Just don't let me roll it.
Yeah. Someone's got to sell this story.
Get it?
Who's got the most social?
This is very interesting. I don't think that we're going to jump into a actual heist at this time. I think let's go ahead and play this out a little bit as free play, and if it gets to the point where it looks like it's got to be a heist, we'll move that direction.
I have a suggestion. It's simple, elegant. It won't cost a lot. In actual fact, it will more than likely only cost maybe a coin. I know someone who owes me a favor. His specific expertise is the art form of killing people. I can contact my good friend, my friend, associate Steiner, and ask if he would be prepared to tell a yarn and hand over the bag. He is known to be an assassin. He can be the one who's actually killed Paul. He hands over the bag because it's he knows that it's because the stuff smells like Spark, and he will also know that Lamp Blacks are massive players in the distribution of Spark.
Very good.
Well, he being an assassin, he could say that he knows that she was going to deliver it to them. You know, he'd already scoped out the situation. He knew that she was going to deliver it to them. His killing of Paul was
a separate score.
Score, but he didn't want the Lamp Blacks to get on his case. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Hand it on over. It would be nice if we could get the 20 coin for it, for what it's worth. But I think giving it back so that they don't look in Paul's direction actually helps the group, the gang. So we could always do that. And I've not asked him for a favor before. So yeah, I think he might be susceptible to coming on in, and he'll definitely listen to us or listen to me, and he'll have the conversation. Whether he'll do it or not, I honestly don't know.
So I like this concept. So you're taking a non-down arrow or up arrow off of your character sheet and sort of saying there's someone you know. I don't think that's really addressed in the rules as I think the two that you pick are the two you know. However, I'm happy to do that and say that all of you guys, the people that you see on your friends and enemies sheet, are people you just at least have passing acquaintance with. The ones that are an up arrow are positive. The ones that are down arrow are negative. The other ones, instead of just being non-players, we'll say that they exist. You know of them and can use them. We have changed the canon slightly, but I like what's playing. Go ahead.
So who's going to pay this guy and tell him to do it?
Interesting.
Well, we got 4 coins from Lady Kellis for making sure that her cult doesn't do anything stupid. Which brings me to another point. Once we actually work out, because they know they're going to get the book and what have you, I think we need to take Flint out. That might stop them from doing something stupid for a short while. Plus, it sorts Mara's problem out. Plus, it'll put a smile on Mara's face.
I think that definitely we should go after Flint and the cult. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we do that, I might even be able to take him out from range. So because there's nice bits around where that I've forgotten the name of the establishment, the maternity house, the midwifery house.
What does that look like on Twitch, Rob?
Spider's web. It's horrible. Take it away.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
That looks fine to me.
Okay.
Oh, it's good.
It's good.
Like the Umbrella Corporation all over
Great.
again.
Thanks for the help. So we do have a lot of connections as we're talking through some of these, and we've drawn out and done a couple of ways of talking about this. You see in the middle our characters and some of their connections. They're talking about Flint, who you see down here at the bottom, who's tied to the cult of Argaz the Pitiless. You see, Wrecker with Eckerd out here, who we now know there's probably a connection between Eckerd and Flint that I haven't drawn in yet. And we give this out to the characters so that they can see it. If anybody online would like that for what you're watching, I'd be glad to provide it. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Yes, please. Can you send it
I've
to my
given
PO
that
box?
to you guys already. You already have it.
So we can do that. Flint's easy enough because there are plenty of decent places to set up an ambush for Flint. So yeah.
Okay.
And then what else have we got? We got Magistrate. Oh shit! I've got to make contact with Nog.
And I'd like to throw a name out there, Ulf Ironborn, just to throw it out there.
He's the least of our worries.
You have set him up into a fight with some bluecoats who think that he stole from them. And Plona does owe him some money.
There are so many different angles. I think we just need to start doing them one by one and progress it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Lady Kellis gave me 4 coins, so I can pay the 3 coins off that Polo's Ulf, and say that this was in her last will and testament, that this debt needs to be paid off so that they don't what's the term, the legal thing for getting it from siblings.
Well, so what? He's going to go after the Brood.
Go on then.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, we could just post them a letter saying, by the way, Pol's dead. Go and screw yourself. For her last will and testament says, go and see her brother for any coin outstanding.
Ooh.
So yeah, whether they'll come mob-handed or not, I don't know. But I'll be stood next to you, Brute. So don't worry. Well, when I say next to you, to the left, slightly behind.
So I'm trying to imagine myself transcribing this to our notes in the near future. I would love to see some actions, not just the discussion at this point. You've had several wonderful things that you want to do. Which of them are you going to do?
I vote for Rob's idea of his assassin friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go out and find Steiner then.
Okay. So what we'll say during this this particular sort of not downtime activity, but this is the free play piece. You guys have all various things to do around town. Okay. We leave Vivienne sort of watching Polonia, and you guys can do various things as you go. So set it. You do know where this particular person is. What was his name again?
Steiner,
the assassin.
Yes.
So you know that he tends to frequent some of the bars that are down in the dock area. He just moves from one to the other, and people who want to hire him sort of just have to leave a message with some of the bartenders.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you can't go to Jewel Bird and Shine because that's shut.
I know, because of who? Ulf Ironborn.
Yeah.
So you're gonna?
Do we need to get that? Do we need to get him back for that? I think we do, don't we?
There's some definitely some problems.
Ulf is starting to be a little bit of a pain. Okay, so yeah, so I go to to the bars in each of them, what have you.
Okay, so what I will have you do is I'm going to have you make a roll of some sort to locate this guy. And everybody tenses up when we say a roll, because we know in this game, rolls most often come with complications, even if they're successful. Yep. Wonderful.
Well,
we have a 5.
So gathering information and location and movement, so it's
very
specific.
Good. So you find him in a low dive that's just off of one of the piers. It does look strange this time of year when the big ships are gone.
Yeah.
And the clientele, of course, has dropped off as well. The place is fairly empty. It's called the Anchor. Go figure. And there's a sort of a fat man behind the bar. He looks like he might be a Scovelander of all things. And he's serving up various mushroom-based concoctions on the very poor end of things, very watery and but quite alcoholic still. And you can see the gentleman you were looking for is, of course, got himself predictably into a corner seat close to where there's a way that he can get out a back door. You know, it's very predictable. He sees you come in and recognizes you roughly. Do you have the cat set it with you? I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? I haven't had to take her out in ages, so.
It's a very low-ceilinged place, all timber. Okay, and it's definitely got that smell of smoke and where unrefined Leviathan blood has been used for lamps and things like that. So he sees you, gives a little nod because he sort of knows you from whatever reason, and then goes back to looking at his cards. He's sitting with another person. They're playing cards.
Okay. I nod back and kind of motion, to can we chat? And I'll wait for the response. I go out to the bar.
Okay.
I'll get myself a drink, get him a drink. He goes for, he'll just have some fucking watered down beer. Forget what he's given. And I'll wait to see what he does.
So you're not staring at him because that's what you don't do, but you do hear the scuff of his chair move back.
Yeah,
and
the
then
cat does. The cat does. The cat's, and the cat's like giving you that way, and the cat's kind of looking every way and which way. So,
and that does sometimes when she shifts her head rapidly. It's a little bit nauseating when you're looking through her eyes, but you do see that she's sort of locked in on what's happening over at the table. Okay. So, making excuses, the chair is pushed back, which you hear oddly through two sets of ears, and you hear the steps coming across the wooden floor. It looks like it's probably up on a little bit of stilts or something, so that there's a nice booming as it comes across that only goes to the cat set its ear, not so much to yours. And you know when he has stepped up to the bar beside you, even though you're turned with your shoulder down and away from him.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's standing there quietly. He sees the other drink and picks it up without asking.
No worries.
What are you up to, Set It?
Tracking, prey. I've got a bit of a difficult one though, and I'm in a bit of a bind. I was wondering if you might want to relatively
those are two words that sound expensive to me. Difficult and a bind.
Yeah, it's expensive for me for sure. But this one's not actually a problem of my making. So no, this one's actually really easy and gentle. Just wondering whether you might be interested in a little bit of subterfuge and for a couple of coin, a delivery, not too far.
Really easy. Clears his throat. He shoots the distilled mushroom and then sets it down on the bar with a tap for another and tilts his head like you're paying for it, and then says, "Go on."
Okay, so I've got a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. No, actually, I've got a friend, and she's in a little bit of a, and you know what I'm like with the ladies, so she's pulling on my heartstrings. So basically, I need her to be dead.
That makes all the sense in the world.
But I don't want her dead. I want people to think that she's dead. So I was wondering, I've got a package that needs to be delivered that she was supposed to deliver, and it's got one of those special locks on it, and it's literally a case of you're on a score. You collected on the score. They had the package on them, and because of what's in it, deliver it to the Lamp Blacks for them to distribute it. Really? And you walk away. Simple as that.
Okay.
Would you be interested? And I put a couple of coin on the bar for him.
So remember, coins are sacks of silver. So it'll look a little bit strange right here, but you can talk about them.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I would say, look, it's worth a couple of coins just to get the information over that the woman has been disposed of. We don't want her to be looked into.
So tell me about this
And,
lock.
If you tamper with it, bad things happen and things go boom, and you hear voices for the rest of your life, and they come climbing after you from the grave and from everywhere else.
He raises an eyebrow. What's in the satchel?
Um,
Well, no, he didn't say that.
What
He says, what is this I'm delivering? He doesn't know it's a
well,
satchel. Sorry.
The package smells of salt, and I described the smell that Spark has, but I specifically don't say the word Spark, and I kind of make it into, you know, if you were making a cheese dish, you would add this and this and this, because I know that he knows what Spark is. You know,
he
I'm
takes
trying to
the
be
hint.
as covert as possible, but without being a complete knob.
He says, so how big is this satchel, bag, thing, cart? What?
It's like a clutch bag. It's nothing.
Okay. So how do you want to do this?
But if you come to my boat house, because that's where we are at the moment. After you've thought about it, you can decline if you want. This isn't a no hard feelings, because I know that, you know. But if you want to do it, come to my boathouse. This is where I am, and pick up the package. I give you part of the payment. Pop back because we're moored up just around the corner from the docks. Pick up the other half, and I'll be like, thank you very much.
Very good.
It's literally walk in, walk over, walk back in time for dinner, and some more drink.
I know some lamp
And then I
blacks.
nod to the bartender at the mention of more drink, and I get another round.
Okay. He likes that. He says, that's good. I know a couple of lamp blacks. I can work this. So give me the story I'm giving the lamp blacks one more time. I want to be really clear on what I'm supposed to say as I'm handing over this handbag thing.
Okay. So and I look over at the bartender. How far away is he?
Oh, he's carefully moved down away from you guys.
Okay, cool.
Does not want to hear what you're talking about.
I look at him directly in the eyes, and I say, right, your job was to reclaim coin from a female individual, and I describe Paul.
Okay, who hired me?
Olaf.
Oh, very interesting. That's very interesting.
If she didn't have the coin, you could take it out on her hide. And that's exactly what you did, because she didn't have the coin. So you got rid of her. You've disposed of her. There is now no body of that description. She did have the bag on her. You and I both know what it smells like, so we know exactly what it is. We know that the lamp blacks distribute it. Pass it on over to them. If they want to buy it from you, if you want to try and buy it at a payment, that's between you and them.
Okay. So what do you hazard that this is worth?
10 coin.
What? So you're asking me to carry 10 coin? So what are you gonna pay me for this? 30?
Nah, 2.
What?
I'm poor and impoverished.
I can just walk away with it.
Well, yeah, of course you can. I mean, if that's what you choose to do, I mean, I would prefer it if you could actually get the word out that you actually killed the person that you haven't killed. That's the most important part about this. What you do with the package is entirely up to you. Personally, I've seen what this shit does. Me and my guys, or the people that I'm associated with, we want nothing to do with that product. So this is hot commodity. I want it off my boat. I don't need that shit. I mean, you've got some heavy players in town that deal with that. We don't need that, honestly.
Tell you what,
swaying him.
give me a day or two. I'll swing by.
Okay.
And we'll talk about the price. But I like this. I like this job. This is a simple carry and drop. That's nice compared to what I usually have to do.
If your friends at Lamp Blacks will actually pay you for the commodity at the market rate, you might not even need to come back and get the second purse of the second coin. You might be very happy with,
I never turned down a second set of coin. He slaps you ungentlemanly on the rump and says, "Now get on with you. I've got a card game."
Okay, and I tell him what the other players are holding in his hand.
Oh,
because Sed is watching.
He says, "Oh, that is very kind of you."
He
says, "Where's your boat?"
I tell him where we're moored.
Okay.
I tell him exactly where we're moored. And
very
then
good.
I finish my drink and then I leave.
Very good.
And then I run back and we mount the cannons and
okay.
So I come back and I tell the guys, look, he's potentially interested, but I think he's going to try and rinse us more for doing the drop. But I've put it to him that if he sells the commodity, he can keep it because we want nothing from it.
Very good. So all of you are out. So I'd like to know a little bit about what you guys were doing, the other folks, during this period. And we'll start with the Brute. What did you do with this quasi downtime? I mean, it's not like we're actually doing a downtime thing, but what were you doing during this period wandering around this town?
Well, it occurred to me, of course, that while he was being brought on as our courier, this young chap, then there was obviously a side story to this, which is Olaf owing being owed money by Polonia.
Yes.
So what I'm doing then, Olaf or Ulf?
Ulf.
Ulf Ironball.
That's so good.
Ulf.
You call him what you want.
Ulf. So what I'm doing is I am just scoping out the territory. So I'm basically going to do a little bit of wandering around. Not so much with Ulf himself.
Very good.
But I'm going to wander around the areas that he frequents and just get a feel for the shape of his operation.
Very good.
It's literally just basic intelligence gathering, just wandering about, listening to people, maybe talking to people, perhaps greasing a few palms here and there. And it's the kind of night or it's the kind of day where, actually it's the evening, where people tend to hurry. And when they hurry, they tend to shout to one another as they're walking, and they don't notice the dark shape of a large man in a dark cape with a long, low-slung hat, listening to their conversations as they pass by.
Absolutely. And you find yourself in Coleridge, because this is the heart of Ulf's operations, Coleridge. And evidently, Ulf and company have moved into an abandoned building in Coleridge that hasn't been taken care of for a while. Evidently, the family who owned this building has come on hard times and is not paying too much attention to it. It was a small block of apartments that are now taken over by Ulf and his ilk. Depending on what you how deeply you study this, I will tell you that someone lets you know that this was once owned by a family from the Six Towers, the last name of Jones, but they have lost the ability to sort of take care of it. And so
yes, it's funny. That Jones family, that's very interesting. Because
strange.
Mrs. Jones is an acquaintance of mine now.
That she is.
We met once in a tea room.
Yes, you did. And left her with the fear of God. Absolutely.
Indeed.
So anyway,
fear, perhaps, but I want that to be tinged with the idea that we can help one another.
Okay. Yes, I think you did that, and so this is a building once owned and rented by their family that when taxes were too high and when there were issues that they just couldn't fix the roof properly, they just sort of left the thing to fall apart. Sort of like some people in Warmington, but we'll go on from there. Anyway, so this house has now been taken over by Ulf and his ilk. When I say that, there's probably at least 20 folks that you've caught going in and out and around. It's a decent organization. The Scovelanders in the area talk of him highly as taking care of them, and there's whispers of revolution.
So, what is he shipping in and out of this location then?
Okay.
Anything in particular that I can spot?
What I'm going to do is I am going to ask for a roll to sort of get some sort of an information roll, like you're doing gather information. So there's not going to be a fail. It's just going to be how much information you get.
Yeah.
Based on what you use.
So it's just a D6, isn't it?
Yes, it is. If I remember right. And I can find that really quickly. Of course. What'd you get?
I got 2 dice, which is wrong. So I'll just take the first one. It's a 4.
Let's see here. I was going to do a...
Future, I'll just go here and...
Okay.
Roll the dice like that. Look. Well, not that result. We'll take the 4, thank you.
Okay, no problem. So you do get some information. It looks like they are primarily into the security game, into shaking down businesses and saying, we're here to protect you from the other gangs. But really, it's all about, if you don't pay us, we're going to break your place up. And so that's their main gig. They're not really into the drugs, though there's, some little thing.
That is going to be desperately unpopular with certain.
Oh, yes.
Certain locals.
Absolutely.
Okay. So once I've got that information, I'll just take some time to wander around.
Very good.
And listen in on some of the businesses and just see those who might be affected in Coleridge.
So I'll add to that it appears that in Coleridge they are feathering their nest, including even donating some money to some of the local businesses, especially ones that are run by Scovelanders. However, outside of that area, you definitely know of like the Jewel Bird and Shine and some other places like that they've hit pretty heavily, sort of off of their territory. Okay, let me jump to Wrecker real quick and talk about what are you doing during this particular period where you're off the boat and wandering the city doing different things.
I don't have any particular plans.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just wandering around, seeing what's happening.
Fair
seeing
enough.
What the word on the street is.
Fair enough. So we can say that pretty much whatever you'd like to do. If you want to go, one of the things I could suggest is you might want to talk to the Blue Devils and see what they're doing about their missing member or anything like that. Would that be something you'd like to do?
Which missing member?
The young lady with all the piercings. You don't really even know her name. Who was nabbed?
I don't want to draw attention to anything. I'm just gonna.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna hang around.
Okay. Perfect. So you can do some shopping, things like that. Maybe even move through Night Market and get a couple of things you're needing for your workshop.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Let's move across then to Twitch and Mara, whoever wants to go first, talking about this.
Yeah, so Twitch is keeping an eye on the cults and what's the name? Hang on a second. Flint.
Ah.
So basically, and this Aragos cult.
Very good idea. So you are perched in Night Market watching some of this.
Particularly looking out for, anything that might be the delivery of this book.
Okay. So what
some sort of servant of Lady
Kellis, gotcha.
Kellis turns up with a wrapped package or something like that. Be very much of interest.
Okay. So I'll give you two pieces of information for your watching. One is that Eckerd visits several times over the little bit, and you also do see that butler who was so mean to Polona. Actually, I don't know if you weren't there for that, but you've seen the butler from Lady Kellis's house.
Yeah.
Looks very unhappy that he's having to do this, but he drops off a package, neatly wrapped brown paper with string.
This
twine.
Is at Eleanor's midwifery, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
And last but not least, Mara, in your particular short time as we're having things happen all around us.
I am scoping out the area around the cult building and basically taking details that I'm hoping are going to be useful for Wrecker when we come to blow this place up.
Very good. So the particular tower that they perch atop has several stores that are at the lower levels, lower like 1 and 2. And then above that, there's a couple of sets of apartments in which there are some local families that live. And then you do see that there appear to be two hulls that are now standing around outside of the cult's particular church. And the hulls are the people that have had their spirits removed to make them zombie-like, and where they are just servants.
I know, but remember, I witnessed that.
Yes, you did.
So is one of them?
That's a really good question. Actually, let's say that it is. The one on the left side of the door is that poor Scovelander man who you witnessed the horrific event where he was hauled.
Hey. Right, okay, I'm going to make down the notes then. So.
Very good. I like that. So we are at 8:53. We're going to take a teeny break for everyone to grab a drink, hit the restroom, grab a quick bite to eat, and then we're going to cover our 9 to 10 period and see what happens. We haven't really moved into a score yet, but a lot of information has been knocked out. So let's see what happens. All right, putting us on break. If it goes on break. There we go.
It's on break.
John, are you around?
Yes.
Wonderful. So we're
Sorry,
just
it was in the middle of a reboot.
Oh, understand. I've probably desperately need a reboot, but I'm plunging along, trying to go ahead and complete on here.
Reboot my ass.
Ah, Felix. Okay, you can hang for just a second.
Felix.
I'm back.
He's back.
Felix.
All right, he says he's back. We'll get his video in a second. So we've learned several things during this period. The other thing that we're about to learn is when you get back to the boat at roughly the same time, because I'm going to be kind that way, there is a note on the table, and it just says, stepped out for some ingredients, Vivienne. And for the first time in who knows how long, Vivienne is not on the boat.
Okay.
Polonia on the boat.
Yes, the door is still locked.
Is the bag on the boat?
Ah, good question. Where'd you put it?
Wrecker had it downstairs in the
Oh, he did.
Thingy. I don't know exactly where he's put it, but it would have been downstairs in the tool room, and I would imagine he would have it under lock and key after he put everything back. But until Wrecker comes back, I'm not sure.
So Felix is here. She's just not up on video quite yet. Did you have that in any particular spot there, Wrecker?
I would have had it in a safe.
Okay.
A small safe, which would have been under a bench.
Okay.
Okay, is the safe still there?
Yes.
Okay, is the safe open?
No.
Are you asking, is the safe safe?
Ha ha ha. So
okay, I'm going to check what's in the safe. Is the bag still in the safe?
So Wrecker hasn't told you the combo, but no, I'm just joking. You guys can check. It is the spark is still here.
Right. Okay. So she's maybe actually just gone for ingredients.
Yeah. And
sorry, guys. I go back up and I go, sorry, guys. She was far too interested in the conversation earlier, and I just thought that she went and helped herself and thought that she would actually help us out by doing something stupid.
that could have happened.
It
could easily have happened.
Good job we put the package in the safe.
At least no one knows where our boat is. We'll be fine.
Very good. Except for, that
no
one guy
knows where our boat is apart from a highly trained assassin. It'll be fine.
Okay. So we've come through the, you guys have settled in. We had dinner. You guys did different things during the late night, early mornings, things like that. Through the day, nothing really goes on. except for the fact that Vivian is not back yet. So when you do hear a tap 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 on the door, well, you hear steps onto the. There is hope that it was Vivienne, but it is instead the highly trained assassin we were talking about. And he is going. Who opens the door?
Oh, well.
Okay. So you definitely recognize Steiner.
Yeah.
What does Steiner look like?
He's actually so charismatic that you kind of he's just ordinary. He's of average height, average build. He's got that kind of cute face that just sits pleasingly in literally anywhere. He could be in a sewer and he would look like he belongs. He could be sitting on a palace throne and he would look like he belongs. You know, it's more his clothing that distinguishes him than anything else, because he dresses for the occasion.
Very, very good. And that sort of friendly baby face that just makes you want to trust him and take him into your house so he can stab you to death.
Yeah.
He's smiling at you, and he says, "Ah, my good friend said it." And crew, I guess. Am I invited in?
Of course.
Who are you?
Come on
and,
in.
So he.
I make the introduction. I introduce him to everyone.
Which is making himself scarce.
Got it.
Okay.
Who else is around the table?
Every time he looks anywhere near my direction, he notices my eyes are boring into his.
Wonderful.
Every movement that he's making.
And Mara,
fast and quiet for a big fella.
Mara, do you have your mask on? Just wondering. That's great.
He's completely freaked out at this point.
Oh yeah. And Wrecker, are you there?
I'm staying in the workshop. I don't want this guy seeing me.
Very good. So you're downstairs in the workshop.
Okay, so it's
Twitches
myself,
away.
Mara, and the Brute.
Yes.
And of course, Sedit.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Sedit to go down and with her pad of notes that Wrecker's been trying to teach her to how to communicate with, and she's going to go down there and wait for Wrecker to pass over the package.
Okay. So she's going to be the go-between if necessary, and she's listening to what's going on.
Yeah.
Got it. So you sort of got a get it type of thing, and got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then she'll come up and then she'll drop it. She'll pass it to me, and then I'll pass it to him.
Yeah.
So I go over, pour him a drink, and then sit down next to the Brute.
He sits
and
he takes a seat at the head of the table confidently. Says, "So, this is your crew, huh? Said it. What do you call yourselves?"
Mugsy's Marauders. No. What? I've forgotten. What did we call ourselves? We haven't actually. No, we haven't, have we?
I don't think you have ever settled.
Crew mode. No, I typed something out, but I got shot down in flames with it.
He says, "Never mind." So
this is the. I wouldn't say we're a crew. I would say we're more family, to be fair.
Yeah, big guy. What do I call you?
Yeah, this is Tiny. I know, it's a play on words.
I'm the Brute.
Very pleasant.
Always.
Very pleasant. And I assume this is a spirit mask? Or you just like to wear stuff like that?
I love wearing stuff like that.
I see where this is going. So, I'll be glad to do what you said. I'll talk
Okay.
about the Ulf angle, the missing girl. Actually, I don't know if he says missing girl. I don't know if you told him it was a girl.
I did tell him it was a female because, if you
That's
remember, I said because it always plays on my heartstrings.
That's correct. And the missing girl, and be glad to transport the very expensive stuff that you have on hand.
Okay.
And I think we agreed to, what was it, 4 coin?
No, I think it was 2 coin less what you drank.
Oh, he says that's great. He says,
Yeah.
no, it's
Actually, I think should be paying you because that was really crap beer. I gotta say, you frequents and dives.
it's a good place to get a hold of me. He says,
No, it
anyway,
is.
thank you guys for your time. That's not me.
That is somebody trying to hack into our safe.
I knew
That is our early warning detection system. There's going to be a couple of lamp blacks coming up the gangplank any second. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I don't. We normally deal with everything in house and what have you. But like I said to you at the bar, what you'll be handing over to the lamp blacks, and whether or not you choose to sell it to them, is entirely up to you. We want nothing to do with it, and we want it off the barge. Okay. So my prime reason for coming to you, Steiner, is because we need the girl to basically she needs to be dead, but we don't want to kill her. We just want her name dead and her description dead. Okay. And you are the best, and I mean this. And I put my hand on my left breast. And I say, from my heart, you are the best at what you do that I know.
Yeah, his eyes skitter down and up, and then we're going to make a roll here of some sort. He wants 4 coin. We'll, depending on this roll and everything else, we'll figure out what he's willing to settle on, and how reliable he is. So what are we doing here? And you do have help from those that are sitting around you, with Brute doing a little bit of a menacing thing, and Mara.
Paint your nails. She's painting her
Yes.
nails venomous red.
So what type of roll are you going to do to convince this guy to do this?
I wasn't going to. I'll be quite honest with you.
Very good.
But I would imagine that. I would have to go with a consort, I would imagine.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what I'm doing. I've got next to nothing in it, so it's going to be a real shit roll.
Do you want to push yourself and have friends help? I'll let you put yourself in downtime.
No, because I can't afford to take any on any undue stress before going into a score.
Do you wish to let someone else negotiate, or push someone to the fore?
I prefer it if I could get away with it. If somebody else could step in, because I'm not really the money person.
So sitting at the table, you have 2 other people.
I've got the Brute and I've got Mara, and
yes.
I would more than likely suggest Mara because she has a kind of temperament, and I don't want the guy to be scared shitless.
Well, we can do this in dialogue. So he says, so what's the deal?
Well, is he still talking to me?
Yep, because he thinks you're the leader.
Right. Okay, so 4 coin is a bit much for just getting rid of someone's name out of the town. I've already said, and the package might be a little bit light on the 10 coin score. You might actually get more. So I'm hoping that you can actually sell the package to the Lamp Blacks and walk away with that. That will easily cover the 4 coin that you're asking from us, and it'll give you extra. Now, if you're going to push me or my family for 4 coin for doing this, then okay, I will pay 4 coin.
No,
but I would want half of what you get from the Spark.
No, said it. We will not pay 4 coin. We have other contacts. If he does not want our business, we don't need to force the issue.
And the lady here with the mask is our financial person. So if she speaks and she says no, so but
he turns the baby face away.
That's what I would have prepared to offer. So I think 2 coin out of my own pocket for doing me a favor and you selling the product.
I see how things are going here. He takes his the baby face and turns it towards Mara. He says, "So I gather you're the person I should be talking to." Says, I understand why you would send Set It to get me. I know Set It. Here's the deal. You want me to carry a ridiculously expensive amount of product to people who it belongs to and try and sell it to them.
We do not need you to try and sell it. It is, you might wish to sell it to them if you want to get coin from that end of it, or you can just give it to them if you fear that there is some danger in selling it to them. Either way, making 2 coin from this very simple task is pretty generous on our part. It is just that we do not want our names associated with it necessarily, simply for the reasons of the girl.
Okay.
We don't want it known who was.
So I'm taking a story and I'm taking a monstrous fortune. And you don't
know that you have that monstrous fortune? Nobody.
So I could keep this monstrous fortune and you wouldn't mind.
If that is what you wanted to do.
I shake my head.
Wise, but
I don't trust this guy.
You're downstairs.
You wouldn't want the Lamp Blacks to find out it was you what took the satchel, though, would you, boy? That wouldn't go well for you, would it, boy? Especially
that's a very good point.
No,
that's a very good
simple.
Point.
Let's keep it professional. The best way, right, boy?
I hear you. Okay, Mara, what role are you going to get to have this person do what you want them to do?
I feel really bad now. I've literally got no room for adding any more stress. I can't help. If there's a role,
Brute might help.
Brute, what's your command, Brute?
What's my command?
Yeah.
You will fucking do it, boy.
Hang on. Two.
Oh, so higher than.
I've got 1 in command.
What about sway or consort?
Mm-hmm.
Mind you can't really use consort because that's connections. So that's more
don't have
me.
anything in either of those.
I haven't got anything in sway.
No, nothing in sway or consort.
I've got
the highest
one,
command,
I've
I
got
think.
1 in sway.
I mean, you're downstairs.
I'm listening.
I command obedience.
Yes, you are.
Force of personality, intimidate or threaten. I mean, let's be brutally honest. That's what I do. You know?
Yep.
Sounds like you're the best person to make the role.
Okay.
By me.
So let's
If we
role play
can do
this.
that.
Let's role play this out. He has sort of made his play wanting more money because of the fact that he's carrying so much, and you don't want him to just disappear with it, and that you're giving this information. You've offered 2. He's asked for 4, and Mara has made her case, and you lean in as you're making this roll. And what do you say to this guy?
Well, I think I say the same as I said before, which is,
Yep.
you know, let's be clear here, boy. The worst thing that could happen, your line of work, is to suddenly find that you've got a bad reputation with a particularly significant group in this here city. You see, as you've been looking around this room, your eyes slid over the old brute, didn't they? Your eyes slid straight past me. You thought, yeah, he's just a muscle. His only job for being here is to intimidate people. But that's a good call, boy. That's one of the things that I do. But it ain't the other thing. There's a lot more going on up here in the brute than people give me credit for. And that works very nicely for me. So let's look at it this way. Agree to do the job. Stay on our good side. Get more work. Get more coin. Stick in with us. We'll look after you. Because that's how we roll. That's how we work. You look after those who look after us. Take the 2 coin. It's an easy courier job, boy. That's all you got to do. Take it in there. Yeah? But if you walk away with that bag, things don't go right. And that little girl who has mystically disappeared, if that little girl is suddenly getting a bad reputation, boy, that is not going to be good for you. That's not going to be good in your line of work. And one day, when you least expect it, there might be a big fella hiding in the shadows who might want a word. So let's not play that game, all right? Let's do this clean. Let's do it professional.
Let's make the roll.
Good?
Let's make the roll. I love it.
Am I getting a
I'm
plus 1 for that,
spending
by the
2
way,
stress for that.
anything?
That was awesome. I'm going to stress myself out. I'm spending 2
Can
stress to give John an extra die.
Second.
Hang on. Can I use stress to assist with my command to help Brute out?
So you can take 2 stress and give him a die,
That's what I'm going to do.
and that
Snap.
saves you, Rob. And then I asked Brute. The only other thing that can be added here is if Brute chooses to push himself in this moment, which it almost sounds like he did with that phenomenal speech, to get an extra die.
Yeah, let's bang up a couple of stress. We're going to
There
need
we
to,
go.
aren't we, on this one?
So-
No, I am actually going to spend the stress that I didn't want to because I was so moved by what he said, and that was fantastic as well. So
the only problem
Only
is
one
is
person
only
can
one
give.
person can.
So
Yeah.
if you have one
Leave it
person with
be.
stress, one person with devil's bargain.
No, the push
Put it
yourself or devil's bargain is the way that
So
plays.
when I say I'm going to take the stress, what I mean is I'm going to make it look like I'm giving my stress, but I'm really not.
Is this risky, controlled, desperate, or fortune roll?
This is actually going to be you're in a controlled situation, and it's going to be a standard effect. Is the way I'm going to think I'll play this.
2 minus dice. Ooh.
Not 100%. However, your stated goal of deliver the stuff, pass the information, happens, right? So he tips his old hat. He's got a little round bowler hat on that cherubic face of his that he just smiles at you like he's your best buddy. It's almost like you just want to pat his back as he goes out of the place, but you know he's a absolutely cold-blooded killer.
Oh, well, I don't.
No, you don't. Yeah,
I see straight
it's just
through.
a funny
the whole
thing.
idea is I'm appealing to his professionalism. I'm basically saying, look, we're pros. Let's do it. Let's do the job properly.
So
And by
what
the
I'll
way,
say,
you do the job properly. You look after us. You
okay.
do it well. there'll be more.
With that 4 roll, what I'll do is I'm going to say that he'll take 3 coin for it, and that there might be some other little complication that we'll figure out later. However, he's going to do what he said for 3 coin, and there you go.
Fair enough.
That bag comes upstairs with after Wrecker hands it to the feline set it, gets into his hands, and he's out the door. And you guys are now sitting in your boat, breathing a sigh of relief to some extent. That's quasi taken care of. Wrecker, you think it's about time for another dose on Polonia to keep her down for the last little bit of this, what you consider is the worst part of this whole thing. And let's see, what else do we want to do during this period? It is. Go ahead.
That's exactly where Vivian is.
That's a really good question. Because she is still not back.
How long's it been now since we've been back?
Oh, let's see here. I'd say it's a couple of hours past when you would have been comfortable with her just out shopping.
Okay.
Can we check the note and check the note and look at it in a bit more detail?
Absolutely.
I'm going to.
We have a very good 4-legged hunter of.
Oh yeah, you do.
Vivian, who knows Vivian very well, and can go looking for some more chicken drops.
And there's also standing in the corner, Doorknob Bob is still hanging out in your area that you see.
Who?
No one else sees. Only Mara sees this.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Doorknob Bob.
I was going to say, we haven't got another frigging visit, have we?
The boat's getting crowded.
Are we going to start? Are we going to
halfway house for ghosts?
Start charging rent? Oh, seriously. Okay.
The only time
this is not a cloud house.
The only time that you think that the others might have noticed that Doorknob Bob was there was when he desperately tried to push the hot soup bowl into Brute's lap, but was unable to get a purchase on it as a ghost. He's still learning his abilities. But of course, Brute doesn't see that. There's a little bit of a, maybe his spoon moved around in his bowl just a little bit, but he didn't notice it. None of them notice it. But you're watching that this Bob is stalking Brute and just doesn't seem to have a way to do anything about it.
Okay.
I'm going to set it out.
He was very upset that you smashed his door.
If
You ripped his doorknobs off.
If Mara mentions this, so girl, tell me. It sounds like he's in here and he's following me around. Is that right?
Does seem as though, yes. What were you up to a couple of nights ago, by any chance?
All right, Bob, me old boy. You know, we know what the score is. You and I had this conversation, didn't we? You're listening to me right now. You should be hearing this, boy. All right.
He stands up from leaning against the wall, Mara.
What, Bob does?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That shade in the corner.
I agreed to find you a body. That was the deal. Now, these things can take a little bit of time. That's how it works, you see. Time. You got all the time in the world, though, haven't you? It ain't a problem for you. You can wait. So, that's the deal. I stick to my bargain. Don't be trying to mess no things around in here. You can stay here if you want to. It's not particularly crowded for someone like you, is it? Or you can stick with me. Come for a wander when I do.
So you see him sort of step across where Brute was sort of talking off to the side. He moves to the other side, and then he moves around Mara, and he leans in tight towards you, which gives you that chill you're used to.
Uh-huh.
And he says, I'm going to go give her some more nightmares. And he goes off and walks through the door to Polonia. Of course, no one else hears that but you.
Okay.
Set it is Rob. You tell Set it to go out. You say, look for Vivienne. You've given the smell and off. Got it.
Well, actually, I've got a question for you.
Yes?
Is Sedit not actually clawing at this bomb knocker? He's a coast hunter.
You know, she does see him and doesn't seem to think he's too much of a threat at this point. But doesn't,
So-
watches him.
So this is an interesting question, and I'm not wanting to detract. If the cat can see the spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see through the cat's mind,
Interesting.
does that give me an outline of? Because I'm now, the reason for asking is because I'm now I've now imbued using that extra thing
Yeah.
from the level up. I've imbued my my knives, my daggers with spirit energy.
That's
so
right.
that I can, because I'm assuming I need that to tackle spirits.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll say that if Said it feels like sharing it with you, and you are specifically asking, you can
That's
get
a good call.
some locational
Okay.
data, or some sort of cat modified description of what's going on.
What's that? Yeah, I mean, not a thing for now, but for later, it would be
Yeah.
good to know. So,
Absolutely.
so we can get that narrative. Okay. So yeah, I send Set it out with the instruction of go and find the vixen, and sorry, Vivienne. Badger her for all the treats that you can muster, and let me know as soon as you found a scent or found her.
Okay.
Preferably
So,
the scent.
Wrecker, what are you doing downstairs? I'm interested at this point. And then we'll sort of move around, and then we'll get Set it back, and we're already to 9:30. I can't believe it. We still haven't had a score, but it may be that this has all just been some good some free play that we needed to have to get some things outlined.
I'm just preparing some explosives for the next mission.
Got it. So you will have all the explosives you need to bring down a full tower as necessary. Very, very good. Mara, is there anything that you want to do when you see Bob take off that direction, or are you going to just let that happen?
I want to have a little sit down with Brute and find out, have a little chat with him. So, where exactly did you meet Doorknob Bob, and what exactly happened? Because he's showing an extreme interest in your sister.
This is an interesting conversation.
Friendly.
So, might have killed him.
Okay.
Seemed like the only fair thing to do was to
Could be.
find him another body. You know me, I'm not in the habit of killing people as a rule, but seemed like the right thing at the time.
Priority to fulfill your debt to him and find this body that he wants, because he is disturbing your sister.
Yeah.
Giving her dreams.
Yeah, she probably deserves it, to be honest, given what she's done recently. She thinks she's put us through, but you're right. She'll probably find something. I'll work that out.
Dreams could be what sends her over to needing the spark.
Yeah, so give me the idea of these spirits then. If I get him a body, is it need to be a dead body or what?
That's a good question.
So, Mara, you will know that the transference of spirits to bodies is usually done into a hull.
Into a hull, yeah.
So all I need to do is dig out one of them holes then.
Yeah, there's two of those, at the...
Yeah, I reckon I can... I reckon if I go and kidnap one of them, and you reckon you can do the transfer for him?
Ah.
That may be beyond my skills to do.
You'd have to kick out the spirit that's currently in the hole.
No, you wouldn't. There's no spirit in the hole.
There's no spirit in it.
Oh, then there's no spirit at all. Oh, okay.
It's
so there is. You are aware that there's probably a ritual involved, and that if you happen to have taken cast ritual last time, you might have chosen that as your ritual. But you may you can do some research, maybe find somebody that can do it. But there is a way. There are people that can do it, that can get a spirit into a hole.
So once he's in the hole, I can presumably batter him until he's insensate, and then what do we do? Get him down into one of the burners and get rid of his spirit. Is there another way to cast his spirit away any other way?
Well, can't you capture a loose spirit?
Ah, she can do that too.
In a spirit bottle.
That she can.
Isn't that the thing you do with them?
That is something she can do.
I mean, this guy you killed, didn't you kill him? Wasn't that part of the score where we were trying to convince them that the blue coats were stealing the money from Wolf Ironborn? And if you stick him back in a hole, then he'll go and report to whichever side he was.
So,
belonged to.
if you remember, John, Doorknob Bob's a lampblack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who your sister was running drugs for and was treating her poorly.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's been hanging around listening to all our conversations.
Yeah, I think it's time to put him to bottle the old boy, innit?
That's an absolutely great idea.
You tell me what I need to buy for you, and I'll make sure it's on the table in the next hour.
How is?
I have.
Oh, there you go. She's got a spirit bottle already.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
How easy is it to kill a spirit?
So the body with the spirit still attached to it, going into a bath of electroplasm will destroy it. And then there are other things that can affect them. There are those weapons. I think you actually have some bullets, said it, specifically for that. And so it is possible.
With a spirit bottle.
Yes, we do have a spirit bottle. And you actually know roughly where the spirit is right now.
We do.
It's in the room with Polonia.
It is in the room with Polonia.
Did you just command him into the bottle? Is that how
is that how it works?
Yes.
Get in the bottle.
Get the heck.
Okay. Do it. Do it.
Okay. So you guys approach the door, and you can hear Polonia inside sort of moaning in her sleep.
Whispering, yeah.
And as you open the door, the rest of you can't see it, but you can see what you guys see is Polonia is sweating profusely and sort of eyes rolling, looks ridiculously uncomfortable in the bed. What Mara sees is Doorknob Bob is got both hands pressed against her temples and is smiling nastily as he's putting horrible visions into her drug-addled sleep.
I'm going to compel him.
That's what I'm expecting.
I'm compelling him into the spirit bottle. Get in there. Vile.
Wonderful. Is there anything that you wish to do to assist this? Do you want to take a devil's bargain? Do you want to?
I'll push it with stress.
Push some stress. Very good.
Push some stress to it.
I'm trying to think if anyone else could possibly help. Anyone?
I can yell at get in there, boy, and spend a couple of points of stress, but that's about it.
If you'll do that,
if someone could threaten him with the spirit bullets.
Ah.
Or the spirit
I've
knife.
got spirit knives. Yeah,
there
I've
you
got
go.
both of my spirit knives. So if I know where he is, I can do a bit of Zorro on him.
Okay. So
I would imagine that the spirit energy for the imbued weapons stroke artifacts, I would imagine that spirits would actually sense that. Maybe would
I'm
they?
sure. So if you want
Okay.
to brandish and threaten with yours, I'm glad to let you take the stress and give an extra point, extra die to Mara.
Yeah, sod it. I was inspired by Groot, so I feel like I owe.
So does that
So,
mean I don't take stress?
so Brute's yelling, "Oh, you're not going
Take
to."
stress as well.
Oh,
It's
no.
up to you. Can't take
So
stress.
basically, you have the dice from your basic roll.
Yeah.
You can get an extra die for pushing yourself, and you can get an extra die for help.
Okay, I'm going to push myself and then get the extra die from help as well.
Very good. So we're up
Okay.
to how many die?
So that would make it my 2 from the attune plus my dice pushing it plus the dice from the daggers.
Very good.
Yeah. Can I ask as well? I'm going to try for it. Just to ask, got to ask. What about my spirit mask as well?
You get a point. You get a die for your fine spirit mask. That is a done deal.
Okay, that's a done deal. Lovely. That's
That's
5.
wonderful.
So is this risky control?
This is,
controlled.
boy,
I'm hopefully controlled in what I'm doing.
I think it is because you sort of got him here in one spot. He's not going to do anything to you. It's the only risk is to Polonia at this point. And we'll say it's a standard effect.
Standard effect.
Let's see it.
And bonus dice we have.
Very good.
Okay.
Yes.
There it is. It is a
Now,
resounding success. It's
I
a
see 2 6s and yet the board says only 1.
Yeah, see there, I got 6, 5, 4. I got no.
I've got 2 6s, a 5 and 2 1s.
Yeah.
So
and yet the board says I've got a 6, a 5, a 4, and 2
Oh, that's
3s.
interesting. I see it as well. I see 6, 4, 5, 3, 3 for mine. That's
Yeah, I've got
amazing.
that.
But
No.
you know what?
That's
It's phenomenal.
What I can see.
Yeah.
That's weird.
On the I don't know if any of us have actually reported this to Roll20. We probably should. But I'm going to give you the exceptional roll because I think it's worth it. You got 2 6s. The spirit is yanked without any further ado and shoved into the bottle.
Excellent.
It slams shut nicely.
Slam shut.
And you have him completely at your beck and call to do as you please. And to try and add some stuff to that, if you are to release him, you can set conditions because of this glorious roll. If you like to come out of the bottle, he would have to, bind himself in certain ways and shapes to obey.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
And
okay.
If you can think of something else that you should probably have from that double sixes, you can let me know. At this point, you hear the scratching of Set It, the cat.
Okay. So where is
you
she?
have been very focused for a bit on this ghost problem and everything else. And you realize now, Nurgle, that there was some prods off and on a little bit from your feline, but they weren't urgent, and so you didn't really fight it.
Yeah.
And you guys are now out of the room, sort of pleased with yourselves. Polonia is back asleep, looks peacefully this time. Wrecker has given her a little more dose, checked her out to make sure that she's breathing properly, and give her the whole once over. And Set It hops up into the middle of the table, which usually this animal does not get on your furniture, believe it or not, and stares at you. Set It.
Our animal.
Aw.
No.
Can't see it. It's blurry.
Your thingy's
Oh, yeah. Is there a leg up weird?
There's legs weird in all directions.
She's roaching.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so I raise an eyebrow and I go, yes.
So
What's going
you get a set of visions from Set at the Cap. Oh, that's completely clear. That is wonderful. Oh, and then it went
yeah.
dark.
Anyway, sorry. Anyway,
No. And it is, you see that you see a little bit of Vivienne shopping. It looks like a night market, possibly. She picks up some various bits and bobs from a couple of places. You do wonder where she got the silver coins that she's got. You think maybe you guys have left some lying around because you have just so much, you're just overflowing with it. She picks up a nice cut of meat, and a couple of gentlemen move in as she's walking down the street and start sort of pushing her a certain direction. Set it follows. And she winds up going into a particular place that you guys know. It is a shop that you have entered. The words sort of are blurry across it, but you recognize it, and you can see inside Flint and Eckerd. And they seem quite pleased. And you roughly hear, in sort of a warbly way through the senses of this cat, "Oh, this is wonderful. We lost the last one, but now we've got one for the exhibition."
oh god, bloody exhibition again.
And that is where we will leave it tonight.
I'm always upset by exhibitionists.
Yeah.
There's no need for them, is there?
If you guys
No
feel like
need
it,
to
you can
have
go
them.
down all of the things that are leading you towards this particular thing.
I've got to say, it's at least one a week where you point us towards this exhibition. I think I'm getting some hints here.
Hints and hints. So anyway, we'll leave it there. I hope we didn't go. We did not have an actual score, which is a little bit sad. But at the same time, I think we had a lot of good free play where we got a lot of information. We dealt with 2 different issues without a score. We dealt with delivering the spark that's been cut back to the Lamp Blacks. We dealt with passing on information about Polonia to try and get the heat off of her. And you guys managed to get rid of the Lamp Black ghost that's been haunting Brute. So, not too bad for a quick evening. And
Yep.
we will see what develops next time. I'd say probably next time why don't we skip any downtime and move right into a score?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I think that we're at that point that you guys are probably thinking of multiple ways to go about a score that will solve problems, whether it's with Ulf, whether it's with the Nameless Exhibition, whether it's with trying to save Vivienne, whether it's part of the exhibition saving Vivienne. There's whether it's dealing with the cult. Costa is back out and roaming about. You never know if he's going to start popping his ugly head up to shoot at Set It. Lots of different things going on. I look forward to seeing how it goes. Thank you very much for another good night, and I will say good night until next time. Take care, guys.
Cheers, Anthony.
Cheers.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Well done, us.